I remember very well. What makes you deny it? I do remember very well. What makes you deny it?
Check. 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 Okay, hey there, friends. Oops, I have to monitor. Sorry about that. I'm getting some latency, so I had to monitor this thing a different way. All right, so hi there, friends. Let's see. I know that said we had a couple minutes left. I reset the clock. I reset it again. Hey, it's my show. I can do what I want, right? Um, Let me see something here. Give me 1 second. I just want to tidy something up here. Um, all right. There we go. All right, that looks a little bit better. All right, hey there. Okay. Okay, friends. We're gonna do it live. Okay, so let me just check the chat really quick and see if we have anybody watching right now. Say hi in the chat if you are watching. If you're not, that's okay. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do one more thing here. God, they make this so hard sharing. Bear with me. I'm just going to post this link on Facebook, maybe on Twitter. Okay, so all right, post it there. If it ever decides to get around to it. All right. Oh no. Bear with me, folks. Bear with me as we work out the glitches. That's more like it. All right. I just made some fresh chickpeas and the smell is permeating the house. It smells really nice. All right, let's just share this too. One more. Okay, there it is. It's shared out, at least on Facebook. I don't get a lot of traction on Twitter, it seems, so I'm just going to put it on Facebook and we'll see what happens. Well, you know what? Since it looks like we still only have one person on, I don't know if that one person is me or not. It could be me. I'm going to do it. I'm just going to put it on. I'm going to put it out on Twitter too. Give me 1 second. Right. All right, that's one of two. I'm getting there, folks. I am getting there. Alrighty. I'm sorry if there's actually a person watching right now. I know this is a little on the boring side. It's a lot on the boring side. Let's just share this one. Okay. All right. So I'm going to roll. Let's let's go with it. Oh, we got two people watching now. Hi, hi. Say hi in the chat and give me a thumbs up. Come on, let's have some likes here. Give me a couple of likes. Come on, just press the thumbs up. And I'm on a little bit of a delay, so I'm going to check back in a minute. I want to see 2 thumbs up on the video. Okay, here we go. So I do have some content for you, and let's just get right into it. And I'll check periodically for comments in the stream, but I don't see that I'm not sure the lag. There is a lag. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but there is a bit of a lag. So, hi, friends. This is Bill Huston Podcast. I do want to move this a little bit closer. And you are going to go to sleep. Good night. All right. So, here we go. Hey friends, so this is a update about the Endicott battery incinerator, and we got some interesting news yesterday. I talked to a village trustee, and what I learned was that we have at least 3 of the 4 trustees are either against the incinerator or have strong concerns. I also heard that a lot of the people on the north side of Endicott, which are kind of just up the hill from where that facility is going to be, is proposed to be Endicott. Let me just see something here. I want to take that and move it there. Okay. So, there's apparently a lot of people around town that are very upset about this facility, and that makes me feel really good because, I get involved in these campaigns, and I tend to think that I tend to believe in my own powerlessness, and really that's a kind of delusion because, we all really have a lot of power to affect things. So, I've just been doing the best I can, and there's been other people involved in this thing too, in the resistance, and it seems like we're making some traction. We got a really good piece on WBNG. If you haven't seen that, I'll try to put a link in the show notes for the WBNG piece. Remind me if I forget. Just put a comment in the show notes and say that you want the WBNG link, and I'll share it. So Chloe Vincente did a great job. And since then, there's been a couple of pieces in the press. One was in WNBF. Apparently they had the new Mayor Linda Jackson, in the studio. Bob Joseph did. And Bob wrote up... a couple days later, he kind of wrote up a small little section from his interview with her. And basically she was saying that she's looking to have, she said, several public hearings. So if we get one public hearing with the DEC, I'll be, I don't know if I'll be completely happy, but that's like one major milestone that we're trying to get here is to get a public hearing. For a lot of reasons, not only to give the DEC an opportunity to listen to the local community, which is something it's good for the DEC to listen to the local community, and it's also for an opportunity for the people in the community to come together and listen to the people that have really been spending time, like me, that I've just been spending a lot of time looking into this thing. So, not that I'm special or unique, this is what I've been doing. So I have information to share, and there are others too that have technical information, like Dr. Paul Connett. He was featured in Chloe Vincente's package. So and he's fabulous. I really like Dr. Paul Connett. I've met him before, and he happens to be a world-renowned expert on toxic incinerators and zero waste and a couple of other topics. So we're very, very fortunate to have Dr. Paul Connett as a local person. He lives near here. He lives in Binghamton. So, all right. So we've got some good press, and there was also a Spectrum News piece that basically said the same thing. They were using the word like, "This thing is stalled. This thing is stalled." That's what the journalists are saying. That's what the news people are saying. This looks like this facility is stalled, and that's good. That's good for us. That the community is against it, the village board is against it or has concerns. The majority of the board, if not all of them. And the only one that's really pushing this thing hard still is Donna Lupardo. So we have an update about Donna Lupardo in here. So if you haven't seen the last video, please go watch that, because we went deep into, we didn't really go deep, but we basically touched on the, just the question of, in that piece, in that WBNG piece, Donna Lupardo called this battery incinerator, it's half of the incinerator's half of it. Incinerator is incomplete. There definitely is an incinerator there, but the other part of it is something that, like the Geodis people, some of the Geodis workers over there now at the Huron campus in Endicott, they call it crash and bash. It's basically kind of an e-waste processing facility that's over there and has been for many years. So that's what this is going to be. It's going to be more crash and bash and an incinerator. And it's not a manufacturing facility. It's not going to be, one article said $60,000 a year jobs. Come on. This is minimum wage. It's dirty and it's dangerous. There's all kinds of dangers, hazards for working on this kind of a thing. Oh, I wish I could get that. To stop doing that. My green screen. It's really tough, friends, getting all of the details right for doing a show like this. So, anyway, so the question is, in this piece, in this WBNG piece that Chloe Vincente did a really fabulous job on, Donna Lupardo called it a manufacturing facility twice. So I think that's really curious. It's really odd, because it's not a manufacturing facility. So the question is, and I kind of was like, I'd like to tease Donna, because I've really tried to work with Donna on a very polite manner, a very polite basis for, 10 years or something, a bunch of years, a lot of years. I don't know how many years I've known Donna. It seems like about 10 years. Has she been in office for 10 years? I think so. So it might even be longer than 10 years that I've been, talking to Donna. So I try to talk to her in a polite way, and I just find it's so frustrating to me. So I'm sorry if I get a little nasty in my last video, and maybe even in the graphic for this video. But, how do we, I've got serious issues. I got serious questions about Donna, okay? So she's definitely saying the wrong word. Why is she calling it a manufacturing facility? Is she ignorant? Does she not know? That's bad. If she doesn't know what this facility is, that's bad, okay, starting out. But at least being ignorant can be cured with knowledge, with information. You can cure ignorance. So that's not so bad. It's bad. She ought to know what this thing is, because she's an elected official in this region, and there's not much that goes on that Donna Lupardo doesn't know about or shouldn't know about. So if she's not ignorant, what are the other choices? Well, maybe she's corrupt. Maybe she's acting as a public relations operative, which is mind-blowing to me, right? I tend to give people the benefit of the doubt, and I try to think the best of people. And it's hard for me to imagine that somebody that is an elected official would sell out their sacred duty to protect the people, your constituents, and to be a steward for the environment and to protect the local environment. I mean, that's a sacred duty. Not everybody gets to be an elected official. So you're representing a lot of people when you do a job like that. But to sell out, to take $1 and or some benefit, I don't know what it is. I'm not accusing Donna of being corrupt. I'm just saying, what are the possibilities? One is she's ignorant. The next is she's been bought. That's not a very pleasant outcome. I agree. I don't want to say that. I don't want to think that. But what are the other options? Maybe she's, going senile. What are the other options? So Donna really should get her head straight about what this facility is. And what I've discovered is that I may have some insight as to why a propagandist might be wanting to deceive people about the nature of this facility. So I started looking into, I did get a little pointer from somebody that I talked to, and I'm very grateful to that person that gave me some pointers. I was already looking at the code, zoning in particular, but somebody kind of zoomed me into some definitions. So I went and looked those up, and I'm happy to give credit for the people that helped me out. But I also try to have discretion, and I try to protect my sources. So I don't always know if people that give me information want to be identified or not. So I'm not going to say the person's name. I'm not hiding anything. I'm perfectly happy to give this person credit because they kind of zoomed me into some important information. And we're going to have a look at that right now. So that's it. That's kind of that's my. I made this graphic yesterday that basically said, "Is there something wrong with Donna's brain?" And it had a big question mark, right here. I don't know if you can't see the cursor, but had a big question mark like right here. And now I've got like found. It's like it's okay. She's okay. Her brain is okay. But what we found is a suggestion that maybe it's that she's corrupt, which is not a very pleasant possibility. But we're going to explore that today, okay? And basically the question is, once again, let's zoom in on what we're looking at here. Why would anybody, let alone an elected official, which is, oh my God, that's really bad for an elected official to be sold out and to be working for industry. And she definitely, if she is sold out, she shouldn't be in office anymore. She should definitely retire, and maybe she should spend some time in Rikers, because that's where people that are guilty of political corruption deserve to be, is in state prison somewhere. So I would really suggest that Donna get her head straight. So let's just figure out, let's not make any judgments of Donna just yet, but let's try to figure out why would somebody want to deceive people about the nature of this facility? And the answer is zoning. Okay, so there we go. I'm sorry, friends. I'm a little bothered by this whole thing. Okay, this is like a very serious topic because I already have like breathing issues, and that thing is going to be less than half a mile from my house, from my bedroom window. So I really, I'm an impacted person, and there's lots of other impacted people that are potentially going to be affected by this facility. Okay, so let's go to the village of Endicott code, and there's a website, this ecode360.com. You just search for the code, you can find it. And so what this is basically saying it's a table. So that area over there where building 259 is it's zoned to be industrial. But like right across the street is housing. Okay, so there's residential neighborhoods very close nearby, and there's ball fields that children play at, and there's the carousel park up there where people play and people recreate and spend time outdoors, and there's Little Italy up there. People spend a lot of time outdoors during the summer up there. And that stack is only 111 feet high, which is not very high at all. But let's look at zoning. The question is, okay, because I was looking through all these permit docs, by the way, and I should make a graphic for that. Let me just see something here. Let me see how easy that would be. Can I? I'll try to, when I do an edit of this show, I'll put a graphic up on the screen here and give you a link. But here, let me just tell you what the link is, okay? The link is tinyurl.com/Endicott Battery Incinerator. tinyurl.com/Endicott Battery Incinerator. And that will take you to my Dropbox. It's an archive of a whole bunch of documents related to this thing. And you can find this presentation there too that I'm referring to right now. So zoning, okay. This is section 300 of the Village Code. Industrial district. That's an industrial district. Residential neighborhoods right next door. The question is this a permitted land use? One of the documents that I found in this, when I was collecting all these documents together, basically said that, oh yeah, they signed off on this. The DEC signed off on this and said it's part of the seeker. And there's only check boxes they got to check. And one check box was coordinated review. Well, the only thing we had to do was get a building permit. Well, that's not a coordinated review. And there's more that you have to get besides a building permit. And you haven't gotten a building permit. So there's a lot of deficiencies so far, even if we look at if we assume that the information that was submitted was, a good representation. Was properly filled out and in good faith. Stand by 1 second. Okay, hopefully that'll stay. All right. Okay, so the question is, what kind of things are permitted in an industrial zoned area, district, according to the Village of Endicott Code? Let's look at that, okay? So this is the code, and just as the little legend up here is that whenever you see a P in like this column over here, like this P, where is that? It's so hard to do that. This P, this column over here, there's P's and SP's, right? So a P means permitted. P is permitted. And SP means specially permitted. You got that? So that means a special permit. You have to get a special permit for anything over here that's got an SP in the column. SP is special permit. So let's look. Let's look and see if there's anything like waste treatment, okay? Or like, these are the categories: lumberyard and warehousing and enclosed storage, food processing, baking, packaging plants. I can't find anything that looks like, an incinerator or waste treatment or waste storage or anything like that. But let's go with, let's assume that Donna's right. Let's assume that somehow we can, like the square peg in the round hole, let's say we can bang this thing into and try to make it, let's make believe that it is manufacturing, okay? Let's say that, we're manufacturing some kind of, pure cobalt or pure nickel, and we're going to sell that on the open market. Okay, I don't think that's right, but let's just assume that it is. So down here we have a couple of points, right, that say manufacturing. Now, the one that's got a P over here, there's the P, right, the top one, manufacturing, it says not including handling of waste products. So it can't be that one. So it's not automatically permitted in an industrial zone. Well, let's look at the next one. What does the next one say? The next one says manufacturing and then waste products or materials. But that's kind of like manufacturing waste products or materials. What does that mean? It's like, what kind of manufacturers? I mean, I manufacture. My backside manufactures waste products or materials. Is that what we're talking about here? I'm not sure what that even means. Manufacturing waste products or materials. And let's just look up the dictionary, right? Manufacturer, the making of goods or wares by manual labor or machinery, especially on a large scale. So manufacturing means kind of like putting things together. But then if it's crash and bash, if it's you're taking in these batteries and you got to smash them and you got to pull them apart, that's disassembly. That's kind of like the opposite of manufacturing. And here is an incinerator, a furnace or apparatus for burning trash or garbage. And that's what this is. It takes waste products and puts it up the flue. That's the idea of an incinerator. There's other functions too. It alters the chemistry. It makes the chemistry more desirable in the end product. But there's a lot of impurities that goes up the flue, and that's what an incinerator is. It's for burning waste. It's for there's a lot of different things, and it gets technical, but let's just leave it at that for right now. So, but the point is, even if this was let's say that makes sense. I don't think it does, but let's say manufacturing waste products or materials. Let's say that that's what it is. You still need to get a special permit, SP, special permit. You still need to get a special permit. And that's good, because then we're going to have a public hearing, and we're going to bring a whole bunch of people with, my buddy Craig, he always says pitchforks and torches, We're going to bring a bunch of angry citizens, and that's what we'll do if we have to. How can I do this? Okay. Just want to try to put that up there, and then come over here. All right. Okay. Something like that. I don't know. How about that? Okay. Special permit. We need a special permit. They didn't get a special permit. Okay. There's a lot of things they didn't get for this thing. So, manufacturing waste products, WTF, what is that? And by the way, if we look up the definitions in the code, and we look up the definition of manufacturing, it says right there, manufacturing shall not include the handling of any waste product or materials. So that there it is, I just made it big. Manufacturing shall not include the handling of any waste products or materials. That's in the definitions. Section 370.2. 370.2. Where is it? Okay, boink. It's still hard to figure out how to point to that thing accurately. Okay, so manufacturing, it seems like this is a category that could never be met, but it doesn't matter, because it just basically means that it's a special permit. So that's kind of okay. Let's just stick with that for right now. But there's the special permit. The other thing that this facility might be is there's a category for extractive and mining operations and enclosed processing of raw materials. That kind of sounds like is what it could be, right? And look at that. Those also need a special permit. There's a special permit that they need. That's what the SP stands for. So, and in fact, here's a newspaper article that I found that mentions Sunjeel in Korea. This is the company, Sunjeel. There we go, Sunjeel. Sunjeel High Tech, South Korea's, what does it say? Largest battery recycler is Sunjeel. This is the company that wants to come to Endicott. Okay, this is the exact company, and look what they call it up there. They call it, I can't point up that high, urban mining. They call it urban mining. So maybe that category is good, right? Maybe the urban mining category is good. Extractive and mining operations. Maybe that's what this is. And look, that requires also a special permit. So it's looking like if we can call it manufacturing, which is kind of iffy if you ask me, I don't think it's manufacturing. I think it's demanufacturing. Or let's say it's mining. Let's say it's urban mining. Either way, it's going to require a special permit. So let's move on. So let's ask ourselves, what does the applicant call this? And what does the DEC call this thing? Let's look in these official documents, which once again you can find yourself, because the DEC can't figure out how to use FTP, or DEC can't figure out how to use their web servers to actually distribute information to people. They print out hard copies and send it to the library, which is extremely inaccessible to a lot of people. They leave it up to a private citizen like me to gather these documents and to make it available, which I'm happy to do. But, I'm working unpaid on this, which, by the way, I just want to mention this really quick, that I am unpaid. And how do I do that? There we go. So I really rely on donations and grants to continue doing this work, friends. And I'm about $750 in the hole this month. But I just got in maybe around $100 in donations, so I'm down about $650. So I really could, I'm grateful for donations in any amount, a $5, $20 donation, but I need quite a few of those. So if you can make a $20 donation, that's fabulous, and that really, really would help me. But if you're in a position to make a larger donation, like $100 or maybe $200, and I know there are people that have that kind of cash, so would really appreciate it. And I have done public service work for about the last 10 years, and you can look at Bill Huston's fracking resume. Just Google that or type that into your favorite search engine, Yahoo, DuckDuckGo, whatever, and you can see that. And my PayPal link is tinyurl.com/donate to Bill Huston. And just look at the spelling of Houston there. It's not like the city. So, and if you want to send me donations via snail mail, it's P.O. Box 20. It's William Huston. That's my legal name, William Huston. P.O. Box 22, Endicott, New York, 13761. 13761. There's my snail mail address. Okay, so let's go back to this. Need donations, friend. I'm gonna lose everything I have in storage. My phone's gonna get turned off, so I really could use some donations, pretty quick. So, all right, I'm gonna stop harping on that, and I'm gonna go back to this. So, here's where we are in our conversation here, friends. Okay, the question is, what is this facility? Donna Lupardo thinks it's a manufacturing facility. I think it's crash and bash. I think it's crash and bash disassembly, and I think that it's a hazardous waste processing facility, and it's a hazardous waste treatment facility, and it's a hazardous waste incinerator. It burns stuff and puts it into the air. That's what I think it is. So let's look and see, what does the applicant say that it is, and what does the DEC say that it is? So there's this one guy, his name is Thomas, I can't see that name. Let me see if I can zoom in on it. Thomas Elter. There it is, Thomas Elter. He's the DEC Regional Air Pollution Control Engineer. He's an associate of Reggie over there, our friend Reggie. So what Thomas did was, Thomas basically made this inquiry into, this is to Dale Vollmer. Dale is the PE that's working with the applicant. But what Thomas Elter of the DEC is saying is that, this looks like that it could be a commercial and industrial solid waste incineration unit. And that's called a CISWI. CISWI. And down here they mention it. I don't see it here. But they do use that acronym, CISWI. And that's a federally regulated definition, which means the EPA has to get involved. Okay, so SISWI. Is it a SISWI? Is it a industrial solid waste incineration unit? Let's make a list. Let's build a list, okay? We're going to build a list of terms that the DEC uses to describe this facility and that the applicant uses. The applicant's attorney and the applicant's engineering firm that they've hired. We're going to make a list of the terms that the DEC, the applicant's attorney, and the applicant's engineering firm refer to this facility as. We're going to make a list here. Okay, that's what we're doing. So the EPA wrote back, and there's the SISWI, CISWI, SISWI unit, right? Background, blah blah blah. Here it is, SISWI. See that? CISWI. So that is the acronym, and it's subpart the CFR Code of Federal Regulations. What is that? It's 40 CFR Part 60 subpart CCCC. The point we have to know is that there is some discussion about whether this thing is an industrial solid waste incineration unit. That's what I've been saying all along, right? So here's what the EPA says. The EPA wrote back, before you look at the section that I've highlighted here, let's scroll up here. And it looks like this is the EPA talking. This leads us to believe that the SMCC rotary kiln meets the definition of a SISWI unit. Okay, do you hear what that says? This is the EPA talking. This leads us to believe that the Sungeal MCC America's rotary kiln dryer meets the definition of a commercial and industrial solid waste incineration unit. But then it says, conclusion, because the information provided, blah, 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 we think the rotary kiln will operate as a material recovery unit under CFR, blah, 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 thus is exempt. There's an exemption in the law. This really isn't law. This isn't a statute. This is the code, okay? In the code, there is an exemption for material recovery units. Why is there an exemption? God knows. It's an industry giveaway. It makes them exempt from regulations, okay? But for our purposes right now, all we have to know is that this thing, yes, it did meet the definition of a SISWI unit, but it escapes regulation as such because of an exemption. But it is a commercial industrial solid waste incineration unit. It is. That's what it is. Okay. Now, here's a letter from the attorney. That is Thomas J. Fusillo, partner, Barclay and Damon. And he writes this letter to the DEC, kind of laying out what their position is and asking some questions. But he says that what it is a universal waste destination facility, and it's like they're building two. They say that it's two. It's not one, it's two. Okay, well, what are they? The other one is a universal waste handling facility. Wait, what? So one is a universal waste destination facility, and the other is a universal waste handling facility. So whatever, let's put them on the list, okay? We're going to put them on the list. So there's the SISWI, and there's the Universal Waste Destination Facility, and there's the Universal Waste Handling Facility, okay? Let's go back. EPA, sorry. All right, let's zoom in. So this again is the attorney. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Just trying to figure out how to get this to really show on the screen right. So the attorney says it is crucial. So the question here is, this is conversation that the attorney for the applicant is having with the DEC. And there's a question about whether it is a hazardous waste treatment, storage, or disposal facility, TSDF. A hazardous waste treatment, storage, or disposal facility, TSDF. So here's what the attorney says. He says it is crucial to the economic viability of the facility to avoid the onerous TSDF regulatory scheme by meeting the exemption. He's looking for an exemption, okay? He's looking for an exemption from a TSDF. But anyway, whatever, what are we going to do? We're going to put TSDF on the list. TSDF, hazardous waste treatment, storage, and disposal facility. So these are the names that I could find that the DEC, the EPA, the applicant's attorney, the applicant's engineering firm, these are some of the terms. They might not be all, but these are some of the terms that I was able to find. This is what they use. These are the terms that they use to describe what this facility is. So now that we have all that, let's go back to the Village of Endicott Code, which is really, they get it from the Town of Union, most of it, okay? Oh, before we do that, let's continue with the attorney's letter for a little bit. So here's what he says. This is what's kind of what I find to be kind of outrageous, okay? So basically, he declared that they're going to go through all kinds of funny business to avoid regulation under the law. So it says, let's just read this really quick, because this is really kind of key. SMCC recognizes that a destination facility, a universal waste destination facility, is not exempt from the TSDF requirements if the hazardous waste being recycled is stored at the facility prior to recycling. Okay, so the other thing is that, you might not know, unless you've watched all of the prior videos, is that there's really going to be two, and they talked about this. They said they were all puzzled. They go, we don't know why DEC requires us to do this, to have them two separate facilities, but they do. We can't store it at the same place. But it doesn't, the DEC doesn't prohibit them from storing the batteries at the recycling facility. They can do that perfectly well. They're just subject to more stringent regulations. So they split it into two just to avoid regulation. That's why they did this, okay? So, and it just is dubious. If we look at this, you're going to see that this is just kind of dubious, because they even proposed creating a separate legal entity. They're going to create a legal fiction to establish the universal waste handling facility. That's where the things are going to be stored. It's a charade. It's deception. It's not two facilities. It's one. They're only making it look like two to avoid being regulated. Okay? I'm going to take a drink of water really quick, and then I'll check the chat before we continue. Everybody staying warm? I didn't actually get outside today, so I don't know how warm it got. It probably got into the 20s, I think. Okay, let's see. Checking the chat. 2 concurrent viewers. Parker Owens, you are so reliable, Parker Owens. You always are on. So appreciate you watching, and it looks like there might be another person there. I don't know if it's me. Hope somebody else joins in and just says hi in the chat if you're there. Okay, let's continue. So this just, this guy here he is. He gave me his card. His name is Thomas J. Can I show you this? There it is. Barclay and Damon. And there's a coffee stain on it. There it is, Thomas Fusillo. I probably shouldn't I shouldn't dox him with his email, but there it is, Thomas J. Fusillo. So that's the guy that wrote this thing, and it just when I read this stuff, it just looks pretty damn sleazy, because he's admitting to the DEC that they're gonna, they're just basically putting it in a different location. They're splitting the business into 2 to avoid regulation. He comes right out and almost says that, and that if they have to, they're going to create a separate business entity. So kind of sleazy, if you ask me. I just think that is a little bit on the sleazy side. Maybe you think that's okay. I don't know. So, and then this is really funny. He goes into a big long discussion about looking up the definition of these different words. Like he's fussing over. They must be considered the definition of site. There's no definition of the word site. Come on. There appears to be no definition to the word adjacent or contiguous. So it's a painfully tedious discussion where he's trying his best to avoid getting regulated as a TS, what is it? TSW, I forget. The TSDF, treatment storage, a hazardous waste treatment, storage, and disposal facility, including they're going to make up a legal fiction. And it's legal. And then here's what it's legal, but it's legally dubious, if you ask me, okay? However, where 2 portions of the property are not rented or leased by different persons, those portions are not on site with respect to each other. Emphasis added. So he got all excited when he thought he found in the NYCRR, the New York Rules and Regulations, he thought he found an out. So, okay, let's just split it up. And so, but here's the thing. Here's what they've done, okay? So over here is, let's do it this way. This is where the incinerator is. That's building 259. This is Roble Avenue. These are homes right there. There's the ballparks. There's the carousel park up here. There's a swimming pool right there. Ballparks. Kids play. Here's the Price Chopper right here. Here's the little strip mall there, liquor store, a couple of restaurants, mobile, what is it? There's some cell phone store there. I don't know what it is. So what they've done is that this is where the incinerator is going to be, and this is where the storage is. So what they're trying to say is these are not adjacent. They're They look like they're adjacent to me. Don't they look like they're adjacent to you? In fact, arguably, this whole damn thing is here on campus. It's one facility. It's on the same campus. It's deception. This looks like deception to me. This is what the applicant is doing, okay? To try to get around being regulated. So, once again, here we are. These are the 4 terms that I've been able to find. Let's go look at the Village of Endicott code, and let's see if we can find any of these things. Notice the term waste is in all of them. Commercial and industrial solid waste incineration unit, waste incinerator, universal waste destination facility, waste, universal waste handling facility, there's waste again, and a TSDF, really it's what's implied over here is that this is a hazardous, I don't know why I have trouble saying that word, hazardous waste treatment, storage, and disposal facility. So this is waste. They're all waste. Waste. Does it sound like manufacturing to you? It sounds like poop to me. Waste is poop. Waste is garbage. This is a waste treatment facility, friends. That's what it is. It's not manufacturing. But let's go look at the village code, okay? Lumberyard, nope. Warehousing and enclosed storage, partly that, but that's not the primary function. It's not food processing. It's not enclosed assembly of previously manufactured. No. Contractors and building material storage yard. No. Printing and publishing of books. No. Enclosed research, development, researching or testing? No. Laundries and dry cleaning? No. Extractive and mining? Kind of, maybe. Maybe it's extractive and mining operations. Maybe it's this. But an incinerator, waste, does not sound like extractive and mining, right? Once again, what are we looking for? The applicant and the DEC says that maybe it's a commercial and industrial solid waste incineration unit. Yes, it meets that definition. EPA said that. Universal waste destination facility, universal waste handling facility. That's the 2 different buildings that I just showed you a picture of. This is what the applicant's attorney calls it. He says, but it's not a TSDF. Whatever it is, it's not a TSDF, because then we'd be regulated and we couldn't afford that. So, and that might be a clue as to how to fight this thing, right? Is to get the highest regulations on these suckers and make them pay, and it might not even be profitable at that point. Maybe that'll scare them off. So we went through this. There's nothing like a waste treatment plant, waste incinerator, waste universal waste handling, waste destination, nothing like that in the code. So once again, if we look at the legend up here, what does the legend say? The legend says if it's a P over here in this column, if it's a P, that means it's permitted. If it's SP, you need to get a special permit, which means have a public hearing, which we haven't had yet. And by the way, if there's no P and there's no SP, if it's a land use that isn't here, guess what that means? That means it is prohibited. If it's not listed, Donna Lupardo, it's not a permitted land use. Do you get that? The stink trucks. We tried to tell you this when the stink trucks were coming. Landfill leachate and Dr. Reddy's 8,000 gallons of horse pee. And somebody just told me they were treating raw sewage over there just to keep the volume up. Raw sewage. That's why it was stinking over there. They were treating raw sewage. Any kind of shit, bring it to Endicott. That's what the plan is. That's what the program is. That's what the program was. We tried to bring this to your attention, Donna. The same exact issue happened here. Go listen on archive.org to my interview of Jay Simonis and Chris Pelto, where I called them out on this exact issue. It's not a permitted land use, and you let it happen. Donna Lupardo. You didn't listen to us. You We had to call your a political opponent and try to get what's his name, Dorello Nixon, before you'd even meet with us, and then you wouldn't take your picture with us. So I don't know. That's kind of weird. You take your picture with everybody. So we knew we were screwed when that happened. So I can't understand your motivation, Donna. I can't understand. Donna Lupardo, New York Assembly District 123rd. You're our representative, and you're checked out. You're out to lunch. I don't know where you are. You're not helping us. It looks like you're running public relations for industry, which, if that's true, you need to be taken out of office. You need to be removed from office. And maybe if you're just having a little loopiness up here, maybe we can find you a nice nursing home. Either way, get you out of Albany. So you really need to pay attention, Donna, to this. So it's, once again, here's the land uses. Here's what the applicant and the DEC refers to this thing as. It's not on the chart. That means it is a prohibited land use. Okay? It's a prohibited land use. Prohibited land use. We're going to sue. If the DEC issues this permit without a public hearing, without applying the highest possible regulatory standard to this thing. This is a community that has a cancer cluster here, a known cancer cluster. We had a survey done by the CDC, the NIOSH part of the CDC, found several forms of rare cancer. I know plenty of people that have had their sons and daughters die, their parents die from rare cancers here in Endicott, because we live on a TCE plume, because the DEC didn't protect us then. And it doesn't look like the DEC is going to protect us now. So we're done. We're done getting dumped on. Endicott's done being the cesspool of the state of New York. And the people are rising up, and the people are very concerned. Once again, there's a majority of the village board that are against this thing, or have strong concerns, including the mayor. And the town is up in arms. That's what I'm hearing. And I'm very happy to hear that, which means this work that I have done, all these hours, has not been in vain. Endicott is waking up, and we're saying no. We're saying no. Don't bring your horse piss to us, Dr. Reddy. Don't bring your raw sewage. Don't bring your fracking waste. Don't bring your landfill leachate. Don't bring your junk batteries, e-waste. Don't bring your e-waste to Endicott and this is the most rude thing, is to try to deceive us and call it a manufacturing facility and try to conflate. I never said that word in the last video. I really wanted to, but conflate. The media and the politicians and everybody, whenever they bring up the waste treatment facility, they always bring up, oh, Imperium. You mean Imperium, I-3? Half the town is confused. Half the village is confused. I'm talking about this stuff, and they're like, oh, you mean the battery manufacturing facility? No, that's vaporware. Show me the manufacturing facility. It's not here. There's no jobs. There's no batteries being made. There's no manufacturing facility. There's a bunch of equipment that's then stored into a building. They bought this battery plant down in North Carolina somewhere and shoved it into a warehouse, and that's where it sits. There's no action. There's no jobs. There's no batteries. There's no nothing. What's in front of us is this waste treatment plant, and these are prohibited land uses under the Village of Endicott Code. You're going to have to change the law in the Village of Endicott. You can't issue a special permit and get a universal waste destination facility in an industrial zone in Endicott. It's not a permitted land use. I hope people are getting this. Let's see if I have anything else. That's the end of the slides, friends. So once again, I got a little bit worked up here. I get worked up with Donna Lupardo, okay, because I get so frustrated because she has this reputation of being this great environmentalist. But every time I've gone to her with an environmental concern, she's blown me off, just dismisses me, and dismisses there's been other people that have gone along. She's dismissive, and she doesn't, I don't know what she does. I don't know what Donna does, but this is an opportunity, Donna. This isn't a curse. This is an opportunity for you. It's for you to actually, number one, pay attention and figure out what this thing is, because clearly you either don't know or you're being paid not to know, and you're being paid to deceive. If it's that, you're going to be gone. We're going to call the FBI, and we're going to get the FBI to look into audit your personal finances and seeing if we can figure out why you're acting as a propagandist for industry, because there's no excuse for that. So the only things left is that you're senile, in which case you should be out of office, or you're ignorant. If you're ignorant, you should pay attention. You should wake up, pay attention, figure what this thing, figure out what this facility is. And I'm happy to talk to you. And I've called your office dozens of times. I've talked to your chief of staff, never talked to you. You're really hard to get a hold of. But now would be a good time, Donna. I don't know if you're running for re-election or not. If you are running for re-election, guess what? This is an issue that people are motivated about, people care about, and they want to see you speaking the truth. Speaking the truth. They want to see you not spouting industrial bullshit. So speak the truth, Donna, and help us. Help the people of your community for a change. Please donate if you can, friends. I need a couple of substantial donations right now, right away, or I'm going to lose a bunch of property and my phone's going to get turned off. Maybe my internet too. Okay, friends, I'm really worked up. I'm going to sign off for now. Let me check the chat really quick, and if there's anybody, there's Parker. We have 2 concurrent viewers still, so I am signing off, friends. That's it. I appreciate you. I appreciate, you being a part of this conversation. I appreciate your interest in environmental issues. And we're going to see you next time. Please be sure to subscribe to my my YouTube channel. And you can go to tinyurl.com/Bill Huston Podcast subscribe, or just go to just search YouTube for Bill Huston Podcast and click subscribe and click the notification bell and ask for all notifications. And then you'll get an alert on your phone, or you'll get an email whenever I go live and come up with some new information. So that's it. We're going to have another stream coming up shortly, and we're going to be, this is not Endicott related. The next stream is going to be about one of my favorite companies, Express Natural Gas. And we're going to tell you this whole incredible, crazy story about Massachusetts and New Hampshire. Okay, friends, we'll see you next time. Over and out.